And I think we're live here. Checking that. Check. Yes, we are live there as well. Okay, we are 2 seconds away. Hold on to your turbines. Okay. Later. Okay, and need to open up the window. So we want. We have the show. There you go. Sorry, everybody. We're just getting this started here. I'm working this system, trying to figure it out, and I'm now streaming on 2 platforms, so that just makes everything that much more ridiculously awesome. And I need to make sure I got that there. Good, we got that here. And cool. All right. Okay. Yes. And so I can see the questions a little easier, a little quicker. We are doing that. We are live in 3 seconds. Well, we're technically live right now, but yes, sir. Here we go. And make sure we're watching. There we go. Yes. Well, hello there. How y'all doing? Hope it's good. It's good to be back. Take 7,000. My kids probably just woke up to that sound, but that's what it is. I am currently streaming this on not only here on Facebook Live. So like my cup sees the day. It's just some good water. My other jug is now in the washing machine or dishwasher. So let's get started today and see what's going on. Yeah. So today's show for you today is called Dislocating Thumbs. I'm going to talk a little story about my thumbs. And that should be absolutely smashless. Okay. I just got to get my bearings here. There we go. Because like I got a script I'm actually walking and working through right now. So it's trying to get better and better. That's really the whole deal about this whole part. Alrighty, so on the top of the link you can see there right there. If you'd like to support the work that I'm doing or all of the other things that I'm doing, go ahead right there. You can there see the link. You click that, and tax deductible. So the $20 or more tax deductible. If you don't have $20, $1, whatever, it all works. You do your thing. Just be sure to click that. And if you don't, if there's another person or another ministry or another non-for-profit that you know that you'd like to get closer to, they always help. They could help them out with some money. Hook it up. That'd be all pretty cool. Don't be afraid to do that, because I tell you, it feels real good to give money, to give something to somebody else and see the work that they do. Because there was one guy that I know, and he said this. He says, "Listen, I ain't good with people, but I'm really making money. But I wish that I could be with people. So how about I make the money and you be with the people, and we'll see how this lines up side to side. It'd be real cool. It'd be good that way." Now, today we got a wicked show for you. It's on relationships. Again, I said Dislocated Thumbs. Got some pretty hilarious stories. We talk about some rings that I got here. I got a couple of books. For those of you who haven't read it, if you getting bored yet, you start reading. I know we're only on day 4 on this 14-day bender. Is that what it is? All righty. Well, so questions that you're going to start thinking about. What I'm going to ask you guys, what is relationships all about for you? What are relationships meaning? Are they even important? Are something we should have? Not just relegated to a romantic couple, but also to friendships. Like, why are they important? If you go through that, and I'm going to share a story through right now, just from the Bible. This goes from the book of Luke, the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15. It just helps you find out where it is. And the verses, you'll see the numbers in there. If you never even open a Bible, it's right there. You'll see Luke. You'll see chapter 15. It'll say 15, and they'll have these small little numbers. And the number we're going to start at is 11. So this is a story that's packed away here. And I'm just going to give you the quick story of it so we can roll through this. But the quick story is that there's a son, and he wants to get his inheritance like right now. Doesn't want to wait like 10 minutes. Wants all of his money like right now. And so what he does is he like begs his dad for his money. And some of you who know the story, the son goes off with the dad with his inheritance and he spends it all up and he comes back and he's got nothing and his dad welcomes him home. Now, I want to take a little stop off just where he is spending all that money. The company that he's keeping is not helping him. The friends that he has around him aren't really his friends because we find out there's a famine and once the money dries up, he leaves. Like, I mean, it ain't no good for nobody. So, I mean, get to it, right? So my point of the question is like all about relationships. Relationships are important, and the ones that you choose can really make it or break it for you. And there's a verse also in the Bible in 1 Corinthians 15:33. Again, you can find that out. It says 1 Corinthians 15:33, whatever, it's all there. Okay. It says, do not be fooled by those who say such things, for bad company corrupts good character. Now, again, whether you believe in the Bible or you don't believe in the Bible, to find that the principle there is the same. Okay. The principle, you can apply that to your life right now. He says, bad company corrupts good character. So in the way I see that is like I've had friends, and there's friends that I used to be like a lot closer to, but as life went on, I realized one, either geographically we had to move, or two, we just weren't seeing eye to eye, and three, things just kind of got changed, and it just wasn't a good deal. How you doing, Jason? What's up, Mr. Paquette? My man. See, Jason, right there for you folks, is a I guess a preteen to teenage friend, when we most hung out, skate parks, let's go, Feebles on the quarter pipe for days, and snowboarding. Like he was one of the guys who actually got me into snowboarding, and I'm not sure, but I think he was there the first day that I ever tried snowboarding, because I think I remember the whole crew, Nate, his brother, I can't remember his brother's name, Nate Denton, and this other guy. Anyways, they were all there, and I was snowboarding. First time I ever strapped in a snowboard with a little local hill, like a local hill. I mean, like the hill that you walk up because it's behind your house, your toboggan hill. We went down, and like I literally jumped, and I tried to jump because I really would turn, and I ended up like just breaking my wrist, like something gnarly, just disgusting. Anyways, that's Jay. Jay was around when that time was, and so yeah. My point being is this: that your friends can change who you are, good or bad. And so, like some friends you move away from geographically, some friends you have that are that you have to kind of like move off because you like, not because they have different ideas or different opinions than you, but you end up becoming toxic around them. To your own life, your life doesn't get better with them around. And I'm not to say you get more money, not to say all those other things, but just that's what it is, right? So you have to move on from that, and then there's people that you trust. Like I was had a conversation last night with one of my best, probably I would say the best friend of my life, who did not start off that way. And him and I kind of had a conversation last night, and it was just interesting. Like we don't live anywhere close to each other, but we can literally pick up the phone and like nothing has changed. We're in the sense of our relationship, it's like as if we just continued going along in our friendship. There's sometimes that we have elapsed, like I think our longest time away from each other was probably about I want to say a year and a bit. I'm not sure, but man, it was awesome to hang out with him again. I got a chance to literally hang out with him for about 2 minutes. When I was during, I think it was a Christmas break, I'm not sure, but we didn't have much time. And so we hung out for like 2 minutes, literally chatted. He saw my kids, his kids, I don't know if they were around or not at the time, but we literally had 2 minutes. He was working. So he came out, hooked up, whatever, it was cool. And we chatted. But that's that. So we had these friends, those things, and he made my life better. Because the thing is, like, when I have a struggle or I'm like trying to figure something out, I know that if I go to him and throw it out there, he's going to throw me the right idea. One time he's going to say, Shawn, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. And I don't think you should do it. And I knowing you, I don't think you're going to do well at it. Or the other, he's going to say, Shawn, maybe. And then there's the final, like, Shawn, go for it, right? So your friends are always a very important player in your life. All right. So let's talk about relationship, the good, bad, the ugly. And then we'll get to all of that stuff. It's going to be fun. I just want to plug a couple of things for you. Tomorrow, if you know people who have families and they're like losing their minds inside their houses right now, tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, my sons and I will be in our basement running you through what I call a family energy burn. We are going to just try and burn as much energy as we can possibly burn, because if we can burn all that kind of energy, it is going to be helpful for everybody. I think in long term. So yeah, it's going to be it's not going to be meant for a workout, but I will do a workout for everybody who wants to actually work out at 1 o'clock. This is what we're doing right now for our 14-day quarantine. Yay. Yay. Okay. So that'll be at 10:30 tomorrow. Again, I'll be back online at 8:30. Hope you'll be there. You got questions, bring your game face. Let's do this thing. Okay. So dislocated thumbs. Okay, so first story is like I actually dislocated this guy, and I almost like this one kind of dislocated, but like it was a very low kind of just back in. I was actually snowboarding down in Blue Mountain, and my we were like I was just getting ready for a contest. I was working my line, figuring out my jumps and all that stuff. And this one jump, like I don't know what happens. Sometimes when the weather changes, if your board's not set up for that weather change, you end up going really slow or really fast. In this case, it was not the faster one; it was clearly the slower one, and the slower one just no good for nobody, right? So I went off the jump and I came up short, like severely short. So you have a jump, it's kind of like this, what we call the knuckle. Back then, you had more cheese wedge style jumps. Now they have jumps that kind of catch you as you're coming up. If you come up short, you kind of land up there as opposed to death. And so I landed and I smashed, like I spun and I landed with my back facing downhill. So like my ankles just took all of this pressure, and man, it hurt so much. And like I don't know if you've ever broken a bone, like when you break a bone, like there's just an automatic rush of pain, but you don't really kind of like it just feels weird, like an adrenaline is punching in right at the. How you doing, T? I just literally talked about you. Like I literally just talked about you. So what's up, everybody? That's Thomas Cumberbatch. Go check out his organization. His company's amazing. Godspeed Communications. You go and check that out. You can see he's an amazing photographer at Tommy Boca. And if you're in the Ottawa area, go check out Studio 2020. If I'm correct on that, T. If not, T, can you just put a link to it? I'll make sure I'll pin that near the top so people can go see that. That'd be cool. And so so back to the story. So I'm jumping down this thing. I smash my ankles down, and this rush of pain comes into me. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And so like I roll. I go. I think I actually broke my ankle because like what happened is my foot was like this, like on my snowboard. So I thought that I had broken it because I looked down and I realized actually what had happened. My binding had just twisted. So I just like kind of just made my way down the rest of the hill and got to the bottom. And so I went to go like fix things, like fix the snowboard. And I realized that I couldn't even like grab a screwdriver. Like my hands wouldn't work. And I was like, oh, are my hands that cold? But really what had happened is my thumb was dislocated inside the mitten that I was wearing and the other one too. So I had to drive a car standard all the way to the hospital and get that sorted out. But even worse was yesterday. So yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. I had a very garbage day yesterday. Just not a fun day, but hey, it is what it is. Well, it started out great. Everything's good. And then something bad happened. And then sometimes when it rains, it pours. You've heard that before. So usually when it starts to rain, I just get my umbrella and just hope. And I didn't have my umbrella near me because usually my umbrella is my family because it's all good. And this time my son goes, ah! He screamed and he had dislocated his thumb. I got some serious dad points because I just told him look at the wall and I popped that thing back in. Now here's the thing. How does that have to do? What does that have to even do with relationships? The point is that if you're out of alignment, it might look like you're in a relation. Like my son looked like he had a thumb. He just looked like all over the place. It was gross. And it looked like he had a thumb, but he didn't have a thumb. Like he had a thumb like in that general area. It looked like a thumb. If you look from far away, you think he had a thumb. But as soon as you approached him, you realized he couldn't do much with his thumb. All he could really kind of do was like this with the top part because it was like out. And I'm like, Ezra, move your thumb. And he couldn't move his thumb. And so I grabbed his hand and I heard, and it popped like right back in, man. It was cool and gross at the same time. I definitely gagged a couple of times because no father needs to feel that kind of weirdness, that proximity. But I did that nonetheless. And my son's thumb all of a sudden started working again, right? So if his thumb is working, what can we take from that for relationship wise, right? In relationships, it's the same thing. If they're out of order, they don't work. They might look like a relationship. You see lots of people like on their Instagram, they have pictures with their their friend, right? And it looks like they're having a good relationship because all we see is a picture. And what we do is we project the positivity onto that relationship unless we know the backstory. And so you see a relationship, oh, I wish I had that. I wish I had the thing that I think that picture is telling me in my relationship, because that's the thing that's in that relation, that picture that I see, I think is in my relationship, is not in my relationship. I think it's absent in mine, and I want it to be in my relationship. And I think that's so dangerous. I don't know about you, but what do you think on that one? I think it's dangerous if we try to like see a picture and then attribute something to that picture and then take that attribute that we've attributed to that picture and put it back onto our picture. I mean, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. How you doing, Mr. Tremblay? Hey, fishing season soon. See, listen, I got a new friend. His name is Pierre-Marc Tremblay, aka the man of backlash, catching 5-pound largemouth through the ice. We talking about fishing for the third day in a row. Anyways, man, we started off on a good foot because he invited me out onto his boat, and I gave him money for the gas. And so our relationship is now solid for the rest of our lives when it comes to fishing. It's going to be good. Now, back to this whole thing, right? So, like when thumbs are like when anything is out of alignment, it just doesn't work. So we can't attribute the things that we don't know to that thing. We have to go to the thing that we already have, which in this case is a relationship, and we got to work at it. We've got to put everything into alignment, whether not just ideologically, but and not even opinionated, but it's like having the same opinion doesn't mean you're aligned. Having a line of communication means that you're aligned. Having clarity within your relationship means that you're aligned, whether that's friendship, whether that's a romantic interest, whatever way that you see that. If you don't have communication and you don't have clarity or transparency, does not work. I know that because I didn't have that with my wife in the beginning days when we were apparently dating, but we weren't dating. She was dating me. I wasn't dating her. It didn't work out well. Yeah. And if you've heard my testimony, it's there too. I ain't lying to nobody. I got nothing to lie. I got nothing to hide. So, yeah, our relationship was dating. But I want to tell you that once we started having communications, once we started having like clarity within our relationship, then all of a sudden our relationship started getting better. Now we still have arguments, still have fights and those types of things. I mean, we're not boxing right now. We can't get too close. We don't want to spread the corona to each other. Oh boy. But that's what it is. And I think the same thing happens in sports. I think sports, like when you have a football team, if you're aligned, I think it's one of the greatest teaching tools. And we're talking about sports more tomorrow, but today, like I have these rings here, and I'm about to get number 4 once this ban gets lifted and we can hang out with everybody. About to get number 4 as a coach. Now, I have one perfect record, one undefeated. I got champions, and I don't know what the next one's going to say. Yeah, Shawn Naylor or whatever, we win Cougar champion, Cougar Pride 2017. But what the thing is that's going to be really interesting about this is like last year, well, this year, the season we just won, which was last year, I guess, technically. And we were terrible game 1. We were awful. But we ended up turning the season around, and in spectacular fashion, we won a championship. So, I mean, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Super, super good. And yeah, so, those are kinds of things like that I think need to be sorted out. Yeah, so I think that's cool. But here's the thing. See this thing right here? This is like, I don't know if y'all can see that. You see that? This right here. See, that was when like my wife and I got on this, like that was communication, that was us aligned, that was everything. My wife and I, like I didn't want to spend $1 billion on a wedding. Some people do, and that's fine. That's all on you. It's cool. I'm not knocking it. My wife and I didn't, and she wanted to have a ring that was signified that we were married, but she didn't really care about that shit. Like I didn't even give her an engagement ring, like none of that. Like just no way. But she said, I'd like something like wood or something maybe. And I was like, I tried to literally find the most expensive wood ring I could find without having to trail myself all the way out into the deep jungles of Brazil, into the Amazon, and find some of that redwood. Nope. Instead, I found a website like most people. I guess not, maybe not most people, but I found a ring person that could make rings, and I thought it was interesting because like they said the rings last about 10 years. So every 10 years you get another. Now you'll ruin it faster if you put it in water all the time. And so my wife has been diligent on this thing, and I mean this thing is getting beat up. I don't know. Well, yeah, it's getting beat up, and that ring there signifies that because I went and found a ring she was happy that the price wasn't ridiculous. I was happy the price wasn't ridiculous because if the price was ridiculous, let me tell you something. I don't know if I could afford it. But it is what it is, right? So but that's the whole thing about relationships. I'm pretty stoked about relationships. I don't know about y'all, but I went online and I checked out some stuff on relationships, and I want to know if you agree or disagree with this list on relationships. Okay, it says number one. This is how this person coined this as being the best advice for them in a relationship, and I was like, really? This is your best advice? Okay, so you tell me if you agree or disagree with these statements. Okay, so statement number one: take it easy. I think I don't know what they mean by that, but sure, I guess take it easy, like relax a bit. But in what sense? I'm not sure. So you agree, disagree? If you push my head to a wall, I would say yes. The next one says give your 90%. And I'm sure they have some special reason as to why you give your 90 and hold 10% back. But that means you're always holding something back. And why are you holding something back? Are you holding it back for somebody else? That tells me that you're not committed. Okay. Last night we actually talked about this. You are responsible for your own happiness. Yes, you are responsible for your own happiness. You are the only one who knows if you're actually happy or not. And if you're not happy, you need to voice it. My wife tells me enough times when she's not happy. Oddly enough, she doesn't tell me that she is happy. Maybe I should start telling her that I'm happy. Then maybe she'll start telling me that she's happy. Never know. Okay. Stop waiting and live your life. That seems a very individualistic kind of comment within a relationship. I'm not sure this person has stayed in a relationship for very long. Okay, the next one says love yourself. Well, then why would you even get into a relationship? You can't if you're not comfortable with yourself, if you're not content with yourself, you have no business getting in a relationship because that person will not meet your needs. I'm telling you that right now. So that's before you get in. I hope so. Don't put boundaries on others. Now, I don't. Doesn't mean. I guess observationally, you could put boundaries. Like if you like tall people, you like tall people. That's all right. If you like short people, you like short people. If you like them looking like a fridge, then you like them looking like a fridge. I don't care. But if you have but you have to have some boundaries because what if you have no common ground, then the relationship won't work. You have to have some kind of common ground, and it has to be substantial common ground. And I haven't worked out what substantial common ground would be. Maybe y'all would know what substantial common ground would be. Okay. Sometimes love is where you least expect it. Oh no. I want to. Most of the time, love is not where you expect it. And I guess in this sense, the person is saying because, like, where you find the person that you're apparently going through life with, that might be. And the last one, which I personally agree with. Whew, I didn't have coffee later. I didn't have coffee second part of this day. Is put in some effort. How about y'all? Do you put in effort? I think that's a statement in itself. You must put effort in because as what every coach says, or any person, any somewhat thinker says, you have to put in the effort. I say you get in, you get out what you put in. So if you put in no effort, you ain't it's useless. You're not gonna get anything back. The person that you're around will obviously understand that you are probably not putting in any effort, and they will feel it, and then they will not reply any effort. Actually, the first phase is they'll try to put more effort in an attempt to get your effort, but then eventually they'll either just kind of be boring and bland and just kind of like, ugh, I'm done with this guy or girl, whatever. Okay. So here is a book that I think that a lot of relationships, just at least on the surface, need to read because it's an easy communicating tool, and it is called The 5 Love Languages. I can hear the people who have read this book said, holla, holla at yourself. Now, the 5 love languages, I'm going to give you the quick gist of this whole communication tool between relationship. I mean, you can read the book. It's awesome. I'll tell you that right now. What happens most of the time is we read through the first 2 chapters, which I don't know. What are the first 2 chapters? Okay. Okay. So, yeah, we read the first part, and third part, you're racing through, and then you read through all of the first 2, first 3, and you find yourself in there. And let me tell you, you are messed up. So here's the 5 love languages. Okay, so you have words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch. Okay, so words of affirmation, that's something that particularly I enjoy. Okay, I really like those, and it just means like if someone says something to me, it in an affirming way, I really receive that strongly. But if someone I am all of these? I'm not even sure. To some degree, I guess we all like some of these, um, but words of affirmation are really big for me. I love, and the other one here that I really like is receiving gifts. Like, I love getting stuff, like for my birthdays and stuff like that. I'm like, oh yeah, I get excited, I get jacked up. I'm like, oh, it's my, and I'm an old man, or older, maybe not old man, but I'm older, and I really do enjoy getting a gift. And then in my relationship, physical touch and closeness is one of my love languages. Now, my wife is not very strong on the last one. So then every time that she doesn't communicate this way, whether she touches my hand, she gives me a hug, we try to make a baby, whatever, it tells me, at least for me, I interpret it as she doesn't love me. Now, my wife is different. My wife is like an acts of service person and quality time. So if you're not like, so acts of service, you can see that here. They come all back there. You see all the love language. So acts of service, that would be my wife. If I start mowing the lawn and make food and do the dishes, my wife is like head over heels for me. They didn't tell me this anywhere. They say, hey, listen, if you wash the dishes, you are going to be a superhero. Wash the dishes. You'll be a superhero. This mic's pretty good when it picks up the low frequencies. Now, also, my wife likes quality time. She doesn't just, but you know what though? She doesn't like quality time. She likes quantity time. Like I need to be around her on the regular. And for quality time, she wants prime time. She doesn't want like the finish, like, okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm gonna hang out with you from 8:30 to 8:32. That's when we're gonna have our quality time. We'll watch this 30-second clip of this TV show. Nope. Because when we watch on TV, that's like maybe that's quality time for some other people, but I find that that's not because we're looking this way and as opposed to looking at each other and kind of hang out that way. And if in quality time, that doesn't mean it's always going to be fun, but we always working something out in quality time. Quality time is a good one. That's my wife, and she loves acts of service. So for my wife, for me to tell her that I love her and to communicate that clearly in our relationship, I need to do stuff for her, and I need to be around her all the time. So one of those acts of service that I get tied up together and I kind of get a little bit in there is when we go shopping because she hates shopping. So it's an act of service for her when I take her out there. Also because I'm going to have to encourage her through this whole process of buying clothes and whatever else. But we spend quality time together. So she's like super stacked that we're hanging out together. And then sometimes she's like, oh, that shirt looks nice on you. She's like, maybe try it on. Maybe that shirt. Oh, so first, back it up. First she says, hey, that shirt looks, I like that shirt. Now, if my wife likes a shirt and that's going to present an opportunity, I'm going to buy that shirt and I'm going to ask for 3 more just to keep them on layaway. Well, keep them in the back. So check that book out. It is written by Gary Chapman. It is a fantastic book. It's light reading, so you don't have to get like all like, if you're reading Jordan Peterson stuff, it takes you a little bit further longer to get through, but it is there nonetheless. How you doing, Vince? See you out there, Mr. Javon Baker. Those of you who don't know who Javon Baker is, just ask him to sing. He's amazing. He's got a wicked voice and a passionate man. Cool. So, okay, next part. I hope you've been thinking about figuring out questions that you're going to ask because we got questions to ask. Okay. And then we'll get to our fun fact today. Oh, yeah, I thought I would update you guys a little bit on the coronavirus just so you know where we're at. Not to strike fear in you, but just to know where we at. So you should know it's a real deal. Total in diseases. Total cases we have so far in Canada are 736. I know you're hearing that all day. You probably don't want to hear it anymore, but I'm just going to tell you just to remind yourself. Those of you in British Columbia, you have 231 cases confirmed. In Ontario, you are taking the cake at 257 cases of the coronavirus. And Alberta, you're at 119. Saskatchewan, apparently, that wheat is keeping you guys healthy, and they think that you might have a couple of more cases. You have 2, and then Quebec, you're up there with 94 cases. So this is proud and fast. Don't worry. Like I say, you're probably going to get it. We're just not trying to mess up the whole system at the same time. That's all. So if you get that, how you doing, Mr. Johnny Fever? You must be getting some great gas mileage on that. What's it? The Volkswagen van of yours. It's the blue. Was it red? Is it blue? I don't know. I took a picture of it recently while I was driving. Well, I stopped. I don't know if I did stop. I told Siri to take a picture. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm open up for any questions, any kind of discussion points you guys got, whatever you want to talk about, throw it up. That is the show for today. But tomorrow we will be talking about why sports. Like I'm going to say sports is imperative. And I don't limit it to just sports. For those of you there, I limit that to any team conjuncture. So if you're in a band, if you are, again, part of any kind of sports team that is more than yourself required, I think those are more difficult than anything else. I think that any joint effort is more difficult. But often, as the African proverb, it says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. I want to go fast, but I also want to go far. So some days I go by myself. But I thought I go far. So I gotta just keep making partnerships and doing those things. Again, if you want to support what I'm doing, it's tax deductible. Listen, you're gonna pay taxes anyways. So holla at your boy. There's a link up the top. You click that, you can sort that out. $1. But if you want a tax receipt, it's gonna have to be $20 or more. It goes to the non-for-profit organization I work for called Youth Unlimited. Allows them to go to schools and chat, talk to them. I have a new talk called the 505. It's basically on the premise that we have a -5 and we have a +5, and we start at the 0. And as we make decisions in our life, we move up and down the spectrum. So we either move down by one -1, or -2, depending on the decisions that you make. And you become the sum of your decisions. Now, each time that you move up the scale, the opportunities that present themselves before you are more. And the ones, as you further go down, the less opportunities you have. So if you're in prison, you have very limited opportunities, but you still have opportunities. And as soon as you get out of prison, guess what? You have more opportunities. And as soon as you get like a job, or you get a solid relationship, there's more. The infinity of this 505 is everywhere. As soon as you get into a situation, you start at 0. So every situation you make, and every kind of decision you make inside of the situation that you're in, you either move up or you move down. And you don't stay at the top or the bottom of the scale. You move along. But the idea is that you keep continuously thinking about your decisions and how you make better decisions so that you can stay up at the top 5, and you can you get to have more opportunities. That's pretty much it. Right there you go. Okay, so you can do that. Okay, so that kind of nails that out for you. I have a random fun fact here for you, and that is kind of the end of the design show. If you got questions, I don't have answers, but I got discussions. So you throw it up. Here it is. The longest wedding veil was the same length, and I'm not making this up, as 63 and a half football fields. Like the veil. You know, like, yeah, you kiss the bride, they pull the veil over. 63 and a half football fields long. Her name is Maria Paraskeve, a woman from Cyprus. She was married in August 2018. She's probably a millennial and wanted to make a record. And yes, actually, she was determined to set a record. And it just says a record. So I don't know if it was this one or anything else she tried to set a record with, but that is what it was. My dream was, as a child, has always been to break the Guinness World Record title. Oh, for that. Okay, exactly for that. For the longest wedding veil. She explained she fulfilled her dream by wearing a lace veil that stretched 22,843 feet and 2.11 inches, or as long as that many football fields. Now, I don't even know what the price of that would be. Like, that could be like, what if you $1 a foot? Does she get that in a, does she get that in a what's it called? Um, what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out here. Oh, wholesale. I was gonna say warehouse, but that doesn't make any sense. She gets that in a wholesale. Man, who gets a that's a long what are you gonna do with that after? You gonna chop it up and give it to your friends? I hope you have 22,000 friends because I could maybe hang on to a foot of it for you. And I'm not sure how long that would happen. I'd probably let my kids play with it. And then it would be quickly either to the fire or to the garbage can. Just to let you know. I wonder what that costs. If you know, let me know. Uh, it also looks like we're gonna have some seriously awesome weather the next couple of days. You'll be at least able to go outside your house and hang out in your backyard if you have one, on your balcony if you're in an apartment, and if you're out on the countryside, well, this ain't bothering you too much because we're gonna have 15 degrees. Gonna be nice. Get your muck boots. Let's go. Um, yes. Also, by the way, I apparently can't stream this from my phones until I have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So go get that on YouTube. It will be good for everybody. Um, yeah. Any comments today? Yes, no, maybe so. I'll let you have a couple of seconds, couple of minutes to sort that one out. And if you got questions, fire them out. We'll try them. And then we'll kind of call it a day. Thank you so much. Again, you find yourself, you can, if you want to support this, what I'm doing, this as well as working with young people, I do set up ping pong tournaments. I actually coach a football team, and I'm working with young people that way. I really help them kind of figure out what they're going to do with their life, if they're going to go, what kind of school they're going to go to, kind of job they'd like to do, anything, any which way to help their lives get better. That's what I'm going to help them do. And point them in the right direction. If I don't have the answer, it'll be like, well, I think this person can help you out. And then that's about it. It's cool. So if you got some questions, go ahead, fire out. I mean, opinion questions too. They could do with relationships or not do with relationships. They could do it with whatever. It could, again, it could be another horrific, painful story. You let me know. I'm there with y'all. It's been great. It's been fun. I even have one person apparently watching on YouTube. This is awesome. I can't wait till I'm allowed to have guests because I have much more fun with guests. I really do. Okay. So y'all over there, now you're my guests. So, yo, Ben, let me tell you something. I bought my house specifically so that I could have a ping pong table in it. Unless you have some Asian in your genealogy, in your history, in your lineage, you ain't gonna beat me. Because if you don't know, my name is Shawn Chao Shung Naylor, which means I'm better than you at ping pong all day, every day. And if my memory serves me correct, the last time that we played, I won. So just so you know. And if you need to find me in the streets, you can catch me outside. Oh my gosh. Okay. No, I don't want to stay on here forever doing absolutely nothing. But again, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, if you have kids and you want to burn energy, you get to hang out with them. Family time. We're gonna burn some energy at 10:30. I'm gonna go live. I got a mini gym class for everybody. And no, we're not gonna be lifting weights. We're gonna be doing ridiculousness and screaming probably and all of those fun things at 10:30 to 11. So you'll have time to get ready for lunch. And if you're putting your kids to a nap, they'll get to do a nap and all of that stuff. And then I'll be back here again tomorrow night at 1 o'clock. You can go check my book out. You have to find the Kindle app if you don't have a Kindle, and you can download it there, read it, let me know what you think. Go walk through that. It's cool. Yeah, so I'm going to leave this up for another 5 minutes. I'm going to check some stuff, and then we're gonna cut this down and shut her down. Got some other things to find up, and I got to prep up for tomorrow's show. Thank you so much, everybody. It's been great. Mr. Lebrec, how you doing, Mr. Andre Lebrec? Alrighty. Maybe I should talk about some stories about um, was it cutting trees down with one of my friends who is currently watching right now. Um, one of the best arborists I know, that's for sure. Say that. Maybe another day though. I'm gonna find a way to chat, pull that one in. Okay. Um, where are we at? We are okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been great. It's been fun. I enjoy you all. Like, share, subscribe, whatever they say. I don't know. Maybe if I put the mic, yeah, that, you know what, that's better. I put the mic back here. I can actually talk into it a lot better. Okay. Well, unless you got questions, you ain't got questions. I'm hollering. I'm out. It's been good. Um, one, two, three. Tell the ladder story. The ladder story. Okay. Oh, and then the ladder story. Okay. So the ladder story. Okay. So I was uh I was early in my arborist career. I won't tell you who it was, but he's my boss is now my former boss is watching this, so he may or may not have asked me to tell the story. And listen, I've been snowboarding for a long time, and I've been skateboarding for a long time. I like jumping off cliffs. I like doing those things, but what I don't like doing is climbing up things. Like, and well, trees are fine, but ladders are terrible because your perception is different, right? You if you're in a tree, you kind of feel like you're secure. There's leaves around, there's branches around, you're good. But ladders, they're about to fall over. And my boss was like, "Well, we gotta." I know what he was thinking. He's like, I've got to get Sean over his fear of ladders." And so we got into this this house, and it was like 2 stories high, and we had to work from the roof. I was so not ready for this roof, but this roof was ready for me. And I so there's other arborists up in the tree and they're cutting branches down and they're throwing them onto the thing. And so my job was to pick up the branches and chuck them into the pile so that we could like then put it into the trailer. But they would like throw them close to the edge, and they're like, I don't know if like it's like that first time of the year when you get to your like you on if you have a house or you're on a roof or anything. The first time that you go to the edge, like you get sick. Like I get vertigo, and so we go up this ladder. We do the job. I'm totally okay with it because I finally get comfortable being on the roof, right? And I'm like, okay. Because you see, the difference between snowboarding and going up on something high is that when you're snowboarding, the whole point of it is you go up and you come back down. Like it is normal. You go up, you come down. That's it. You can go as high as you want, but you know you're coming down, and that's what's supposed to happen. But if you're walking on a ladder and you come down, that's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to like climb down. But if you splat dead down, it's going to be a lot of pain. And so we had to leave. So my boss gets off. There's like this other guy that's there, and they both climb down, and they're like waiting for me. And I am trying to not go near this ladder because it looked like there's like at the top of the roof, there's like these two little nubs. I'm like, I'm not sure how I'm gonna get on those nubs. And then I've got to go down 2 stories. Okay, well, 2 stories and a little point. I'm like, for me, it might have been 1,000 feet like this. Like, I'm pretty sure like movie music started coming on. I didn't know which sound I was looking for, but I couldn't really find it. But it was like my heart. Yeah, that was. Uh-oh. And I know they're all staring at me, and it's time to go because we have other things to do. And I'm like, I can't. I start telling, I tell my boss, I'm like, look, I can't get down. I can't climb down this ladder. Nope. Send me a rope or something. Like it would have been better if I could like just jump off the roof because that's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to splat, and I know that going into the jump. But the ladder, I felt like I was going to go down on the ladder, and it already was creaky and like in now I know. But when you go on a ladder, it's pliable, it moves a lot. But your position in relation to the roof will always keep you inside, right? So if you ever get outside of the trajectory, then you just like you fall down, it's game over. And so I was like, oh no. And I had to get one foot on. I was like shaking like nobody's business, man. Oh my goodness, I remember that. Finally, I get my swing my right leg over first, and and I still have my other leg like on the house. Like I am doing everything in my power to keep myself on the ladder, like on the house, and not put my weight onto the ladder. But I finally gonna have to let go of the roof and get on that ladder and climb down that ladder. I've been comfortable on that ladder. Oh my. But you know what? I ended up making it down that ladder. Now I did waste my whole break in that process. So I had to get back to work by the time I got back down there because it was time to get to work. But that's the ladder story. It was a scariest story. And now I still have the same idea, right? And just to kind of put insult to injury, like we had I don't know if it was a slow day or whatever, but boss man had a different idea, had a different job for us that day, and he wanted us to put shingles on the top of his house, at least bring them up to the top of the roof. So I had to carry bags of shingles up and down a ladder all day one day, and let me tell you, I'm pretty sure he was laughing the whole time that was going down. Thank you, Alex. Salut, ça va, mon gars. Merci pour tous des likes. And yeah, that's the ladder story. I'm gonna have to use that one day when I need to talk, because there was just so much lessons in this idea about the ladder, the roof, and then coming back down the ladder. Like it, love it. Hey y'all, you know what's going on. I hope y'all having a good one. If you have any more questions or discussion points, throw them up right now. Let's talk about them. Feel free, because that I'm going to bed. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. So some of the set up tomorrow's show, which again is going to be based around sports, maybe even Tom Brady. I ain't sure, but yeah, you do your thing. Um, so, what do you think about this coronavirus? Do you think people are losing their minds, or do you think that this is all reasonable? What do you think? I don't know. What do you think about the coronavirus? You think there's a good deal, bad deal? How do you think we're going to manage this? Do you think that we're going to have a new normal when we start back up? Alex, you are going crazy with that, with those like buttons right there. My screen is literally exploding right now. Well, it's been good. I'll see y'all tomorrow right here at the same time. Definite recession coming. Is that a good thing or a bad thing for us if we have a recession? If a recession comes, how do you think we're going to cope with it? Now, I know that you think it's bad for small business owners, but what about that whole thing that the government's proposing about helping them push off payments and then also subsidizing some of this issue? Because let's be real, the government wants small business to medium business to be around because they pay tons in taxes, and that helps the government. So they need that. What do you think they're going to do? How do you think we're gonna? How do we fix that? Because they are talking about right now, I think, of cutting taxes for a period of time to like incentivize people to go out and start purchasing so that the recession isn't as bad as it is. Um, but make no mistake, people are making money during this process. That's for sure. Those grocery stores just loving life with toilet paper and disinfectants. Well, I'm gonna sign out right now. I've had a good run. We're done. See you tomorrow. We're gonna talk about sports. We're gonna talk about these bad boys right here a little more in depth. Well, what doesn't fit there? It fits over here. Got that one. Got this one. I need to get over here. It's almost a fist. One more championship, and we got this one rocking and a rolling. So pretty in blue. What is small business owner like? What does that qualify as though as a small business owner? Like how is that like employees? Is that gross net income? I don't know. I think it's going to be difficult, but at the same time, I think that depending on the small business, like if you're selling stuff, obviously it's going to be tough. If you're a laborer, I don't think it's going to be tough. There's going to be work for you to be done as soon as you get off. But even chain stores, well, chain stores may see a dip. I don't know what they're going to look like, but if you're thinking like a small little coffee shop, that might be an issue. Yeah. If you think about food store, any kind of like I don't know, like maybe around us we have a place called Sebang. It's like a donut store. Make good donuts. They're a little on the pricey side, but they are what they are. Um, they might have a hard time, but I don't think anyone who cuts hair, anyone who cuts trees, anyone who does landscaping, you ain't gonna have any trouble. But if like, what businesses during this time do you think are going to be thriving? And don't say Purell or any toilet paper company. Okay. Well, I think this conversation's kind of gone. Oh my, we go. Oh, Mr. Goddard, where you at? Okay, I'm a small business owner. Short term can be tough, but it will force businesses to be more thoughtful about their operations, which should be a good thing in the long term. Yep. I think all of us are feeling that in a sense with any organization. I mean, I'm involved in another organization, and we're realizing how fast we have to streamline things, and streamlining gives us either more time or just helps us uh, be not more prudish with our financial situation, but helps us adapt our our situation. Mr. Kerwins, you're back. You think a fast food joint is going to do well or is going to suffer?